Okay, Dad. So you arrived in camp. For time constraints, let's not talk about the entire details of because you said how many months you were there? 7 months approximately.
Well, 7 months from capture.
Okay, so the one story, the one story I remember as a child, I asked you where if Mom would accidentally burn the toast, you would eat the burnt toast, or if we were at Apple Valley and the chicken skin was actually accidentally burnt. And not until I got older did I actually have enough gumption to ask you why you would eat the burnt materials. Go ahead and tell your story. What led up to those events? Why you still have that taste? At what point?
Actually, we like the...
No, it was because you had the malaria and you remember you were self-medicating.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
As far as the food that were being served, you had to eat what they gave you. And so one of the delicacies, if you were towards the end of the line, was that the big metal cooking, it looked like a big bowl, about 4 feet in diameter, and they cooked the rice there with a lot of water, and then what the sergeant who was in charge of doling out the rations, he would stir the inside of this big cooking bowl, which had almost 1/3 rice and 2/3 water. He'd sear that and then dip his canteen cup into it, and whatever was in the canteen cup, that was the one he placed in your mess kit. And that's why he used to say, "Good luck, good luck, good luck," and then dip his canteen cup and put that in your mess kit. So if you were towards the end of the line, almost always part of the things that were swirling in that big bowl would be the burnt rice. And that was better than the ones that were floating, because the ones that were floating, you only got maybe something like 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls
Of rice.
In your mess kit.
And that was your ration for the day.
That was for the day.
Oh my gosh! So tell me about, because the story I was trying to drive at, Dad, was at one point you contracted malaria.
Oh.
And why did? Because getting back, because you kind of got off topic. I'm sorry, that's my fault. As far as why you would eat the burnt toast, and because you learned how to self-medicate yourself. But tell the story about how you contracted. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
at what point did you contract malaria?
After about 5 months in the camp, I finally got sick.
With?
First with diarrhea, and then with malaria. And they had no way of diagnosing which type of diarrhea or which type of malaria, because there were no medical facilities in the camp. And for those of us who became sick enough so that they required that you be removed from the barracks that housed 200 prisoners to one of they looked more like an outhouse, and they were only about 4 by 8 feet in size, but at least there was a shed, a roof covering it. So they put me in one of those sheds because I was having diarrhea, and they did not want us to infect the rest of the soldiers in the barracks. And so some of my friends who would come and visit me, I told them, give me the charcoal part when when you go back to the barracks, give me some of the charcoal that you can get from the, from where they cook our rice, our
Right.
meals,
Right.
and then give me a little water with it, and I would pound the charcoal. And at that time, the charcoal had to be taken from the cooking section, and that was mostly either coconut shells or wood. But we ran out of wood very soon because there were very few trees in the camp. But I had learned from a long time before that part of the treatment of diarrhea was you took some charcoal. And fortunately for us, the coconut charcoal had a greater absorbing capacity than the wood charcoal.
Adsorbing.
But I did not, at that time, I did not know the actual mechanism of how it worked. But it was only when I had already taken pharmacology and medicine that charcoal was an adsorbent. What that meant was it did not absorb things, but it bound them to the surface of the charcoal.
And the things you're alluding to are the bacteria.
Yeah, the bacteria.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll pause the video there, Dad.